Welcome back to Plug In with Avi and Kyle. Thank you for sticking with us through the commercial break. And we're back here, and this is our final segment of the show, and it's our longest segment, and I think with good reason, because we're going to be talking about the clown shoes that are ISIS and how we think we can deal with them. So, Avi.
Yes, sir.
You have a lot of insight into this. So
well, ISIS is, as we talked last time, is a well-organized, well-funded terrorist organization that came out of the mess we left in Iraq. Not necessarily us, but the government that they have there and what happened after we left. And now we have almost 60 countries signed up with us, whether with material, planes, money, but no boots on the ground. And the problem is that they're going to take 5,000 supposedly moderate terrorists and try to train them to go and to defeat ISIS. And ISIS is not 5,000. It's like 1/5 of what ISIS today is. They have over 30 to 40,000 troops, about $3 to $4 million of daily income. They
own oil companies, right?
Oil wells.
Oil wells.
And they sneak the oil to Turkey in the black market. It costs $100 a barrel. They're selling it for like $30 a barrel. Maybe we should buy some and bring it this
We
way.
can have our floor director, Carl.
Yeah.
Carl can get us some
the negotiator.
drums. Yeah.
So, and they have oil wells, and we've been working to destroy them, so to cut their funding. But the biggest partner we need in the war or to defeat them, it's absent, and that's Turkey. But Turkey, it's sitting in between two buddies two enemies.
Yeah.
First, they don't want Assad to be in power, but if they help to defeat ISIS, which is fighting Assad, they will weaken ISIS. Then Assad will stay in power. The other enemy is they have issues with the Kurds. They've been fighting with the Republic of Kurdistan forever. And if they help to defeat ISIS, they have to ultimately help the Kurds. And they are worried that if the Kurds got powerful enough, they will give them problem down the road.
Yeah.
So that's why they are sitting there and saying, we're not interested. Even though we have actually an Air Force base right on the border there. Our jets can fly in seconds and hit ISIS in the heart every minute instead of flying from carriers and the difficulty in landing in carriers and then refueling in midair. We can finish that in literally, and instead of one sortie a day per plane, it will be multiple sorties, but we're not getting the cooperation from the Turks because of the issues we are facing there.
Well, as I watch you talk, I'm looking at our floor director, Carl, who is from Turkey, and he's shaking his head, I think, in agreement. So maybe you're a little legit on this subject.
Yes, because you know what happened? The Kurds kind of claiming part of South Turkey and North Iraq as their country. And they've been fighting literally the KKP, I believe, or the YPK, which is the United, what have you. They are groups of the Kurds. They are actually classified as terrorists by the U.S. and Turkey and Europe, the European Union. And they are the one that we need to give now arms to help us fight ISIS. So you go, it's like going to Al-Qaeda and give them equipment and weapon to fight ISIS. And guess what? After they finish with ISIS, you know who they go to fight.
Well, that seems like the same storyline that's been happening for years. We've been helping one group defeat another to put them in power, and then they become our enemy.
Yeah. We well arm them and we teach them all the ropes, and then they turn and come back again.
Well, we didn't arm ISIS. They just took it all from the Iraqi army.
Yes, yes. We armed the Iraqis that didn't wait to shed their clothes and leave the keys in the Humvees and run. I mean, they could have thrown the keys in the sand at least.
But they just handed them over. I mean, it's like going to a car dealership.
Yeah.
Here's our Humvee and armored vehicles.
Yeah, it literally, and that's what they did. And we haven't learned, and now we're trying to rehabilitate the army. Yeah, there is probably few of them that willing to fight, but the majority of them, they came to be in the army because the pay that we gave them is more than anything they could have paid there. So
Yeah.
it was just economic reason, nothing to.
Well, all you have to do is look at one video of the Iraqi army and know that these guys had to have just done it because of the monetary benefit. Because if it was really they were safe to be in the army in their country, they all wouldn't be covered with their face and hiding. And
Yeah.
so I don't know. I mean,
Well, the other thing too, the most of the army was Shia, and they kind of and the head of the armies, and they kind of isolate the Sunni, and the Sunni, the ones that right now part of ISIS are the Sunni that became radicalized and really went after the Shia. So it's in a way it's a Shia Sunni war more than our war, but we're trying to keep the stabilization of the country. And the reason why we didn't hit Syria in the before, when we said if they use chemical, there's a red line, they use the chemical and pass the red line, and we didn't do anything. The bottom line is there is no oil, and it's not interesting to us to go and bomb them. But we did when Gaddafi did that. The French, the British, the Americans were bombing the hell out of him. So you can see why all of a sudden when they cross Iraq, we have to stop them.
yeah.
So
Well, if I'm not mistaken, I mean, I did spend a little time in Iraq, but my memory's a little
you have
foggy. But it's always kind of been, in Iraq mainly, it's always been the Shiites and Sunni that have kind of been...
at odds with
Yeah,
each other.
yeah.
Yes. Before the Sunni, which is the minority in Iraq, were the controlling the power, and the Shia were the one discriminated against. We went in, we took the Sunni power out and replaced it with Shia, and they didn't learn from the past. They exactly repeated, but on the other way. On the other side, the Shia took control, and they started discriminating against their brothers, the Sunni. And so you get one group is isolated and one group is being oppressed. That's what happened.
And that's been thousands of years that's been going on.
Ever since Iraq been
Yeah. Well,
Iraq.
I mean, it started with, if correct me if I'm wrong, but it started with one, either Shia or Sunni, way thousands of years ago, they killed the other one's prophet or something like that?
Yeah, exactly. About like 800 years ago, supposedly the Shia believed that the prophecy was supposed to go to some guy named Ali instead of Muhammad, and somehow God made a mistake and gave it to the wrong guy. So you have one sect chasing after the Shia sect, and they believe that he was slaughtered in a massacre and overtaken, and that's why they have this yearly parade with people slashing each other and hitting themselves with chain, living
my goodness.
that time of the slaughter of their prophet.
For something that supposedly happened 800 years ago.
Yes.
Now, we can't even get, our media today can't even get something correct that happened 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And they're still fighting about something that happened 800 years ago that's written down by man somewhere. Oh, man.
Yes, and now we have to the north the Kurds that they want their own country. Actually, they have the majority of the oil wells, and they are more stable because they suffered under Saddam as well. They were gassed, if you remember, back during Reagan. He gassed the hell out of them and killed thousands of them.
I don't remember Reagan much.
Okay, you were a kid back then. Well, leave it to a 60-year-old guy to remind you. Yes, well, the Kurds, they wanted to have their own country in the north, and that's basically the only reliable ally today we have that can defeat or help defeat ISIS, because they are determined to keep their country up to the north. And they kind of, ever since Saddam was taken out of the picture, they set up themselves and put economic zones and produced. They are somewhat more moderate than the Shia and the Sunni. They educate the young ladies. They have almost equal rights. Even I saw a couple days ago on TV, they have female fighters with guns.
Oh,
and all
yeah.
this. Yeah.
Well, because the ISIS doesn't want to be killed by female fighters.
I don't know,
Well,
but
that's what I read, that they don't want to be killed because they won't get their 40 virgins, or what is it?
70.
70 virgins and one really used girl.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they asked the girl, what if they kill you, they rape? She said, I will kill them, and I will kill myself before they get to me.
Oh, they're not playing around. They're no joke.
Yeah.
They are no joke.
And they are determined to really defend their country, their territory. They need just better equipment, the equipment that the ISIS took from the Iraqi
Yeah,
soldiers.
they need that. Yeah.
Yeah, and they can do a good job of fighting. They're not afraid.
Yeah.
So our surprisingly that some of the bombing, it's helping to some degree, holding off the advancement of ISIS. ISIS is moving to different tactics now, but they cannot run in convoys and all this because we are chasing them and killing them.
Yeah.
And even recently, I was reading that a couple of the villages were taken back by the Kurds because of the.
That's what I was just gonna say. I think I read an article last night about they took the Kurds took a town back.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I saw a video somebody posted on Facebook. They were throwing the bodies of the ISIS guys on the hood of a Humvee
Probably.
and to drive them out of there. Yeah, it's just amazing. So you're thinking that the best solution is boots on the ground, get in there, and 1-2 punch.
Or arm the Kurds. But there's the fear Turkey doesn't want the Kurds armed. And then you have literally a division of the whole country will be segregated. To the north of the Kurds, to the middle is the Sunni, and to the south is Shia. Ultimately, that's what will happen. I mean, every little group want their own country, and they don't have the foresight and the intelligence to do what the U.S. did. Every state, it's independent, but there's one central government, and that's the central government protects everybody.
Yeah,
the
but
laws,
the problem is that now who do you elect to the central government?
that's the problem.
Yeah.
They cannot
don't know.
agree.
Yeah. So what would be the problem in just breaking the area up into 3 segments, and each sect gets their own
But the problem
country?
is that the richest oil fields, that's bottom line, it boils down to money. The richest oil fields are to the north and the south, so the Sunni will end up with nothing. And then you have another issue now, economic war. And
And nobody's gonna share with each other.
no.
So sad over something that happened 800 years ago or
Yep.
more.
Yep.
I mean, we don't even know if it happened.
Well, that's what they said. It happened. So let's take that for face value.
Okay. Well, Fox News says a lot of things happen.
Yeah.
I guess,
Well, Fox News, it's a story of itself.
Yeah.
But the problem is that in there, there's no way you can have a democratically elected government. The reason why nobody agrees with it, it's not Scotland that they wanted to break. They have the election. They wake up the next day. The people that lost, they congratulating the people that won, and they go on with their life. In there, if that happened, then a civil war
Oh my goodness.
right
Yeah,
after.
It's crazy.
So, and that's why you need a strong man, like to say it, good or bad.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Our listeners may be saying, what about a strong woman to run that country?
No, not in that part of the world. If we were talking about the U.S. or any of that, it's fine. But in that part of the world, the women do not have the say nor the power.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's strong.
But it wasn't always like that. I saw, I think I read an article a few weeks back, and it had pictures from around, I think, the 60s or 70s in Iraq, and women were dressed.
Oh, during Saddam Hussein, it was he didn't tolerate. He was the only dictator. He didn't tolerate any other dictators. So he kind of was more open-minded for education, women equal rights only when it comes to other. But his kids and himself, they were taking women, women of other person's wife or daughter and raping her and doing whatever with her, and that was fine, but nobody else could do it.
Prima nocta. I saw
Yeah.
that in Braveheart.
So, but they need, and their law there, it's one law, my law, or the highway, and they really, whether it's Syria, whether it's Libya, look what's happening in Libya now. We
Yeah.
took the key man out, and now nobody agrees on anything.
It's a revolving door. We do the same thing constantly, hoping for a different result.
Yeah.
What do you say? Einstein? Wait,
Yeah.
who was it that said it?
Einstein.
Said that's the definition
Yeah,
of
madness is doing the same thing, expecting different
Exactly,
results. But you keep
exactly.
doing the same thing. So
well, hopefully.
insanity, actually, that's what he said. Insanity.
Yes.
Yeah, and
Well,
that's-
hopefully ISIS will listen to our show. There we have to say. That whole region will be like, you know what? These guys are right.
Yeah.
and they'll just call it a day. Speaking of calling it a day, that's about it for our show. Follow us on Twitter at PlugInPod if you enjoyed our show. And next week, this time, same time, we will have Lawrence Cow, actor, on the show.
Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you. See you guys later.